Gym area. I got my son upstairs sleeping and the baby is in the other room, kind of half asleep. So I decided to make this video. I had one of my clients that had asked me about this specific subject, and I've done a video on it before, but I've never actually worded it this way. So basically I've done a video talking about time management, feeling overwhelmed, and then I've never actually worded it this way, but I'm going to talk to you about boundaries. So it's very, very, very important that you create and you stick to those boundaries in life to truly improve the quality of life. I'll kind of touch a little bit because I do like to regurgitate information because it's always good for people to hear more than once. That being said, time management, feeling overwhelmed, I guarantee you 100% of the time people are feeling overwhelmed. It's because they are not setting themselves up for success ahead of time. So I believe in eliminating as much stress as you can control, controlling as much as you possibly can control yourself. For example, I'm all about pre-planning my food. So I don't have anything to think about. It takes 1 to 2 hours a day. On a Sunday, I actually do it 2 times a week to get myself prepared. So let's just say if I do it on Sunday, which I actually am going to do it today, and I'm going to get myself set for success until Friday, but then on Thursday, I'm going to set myself up until Monday. So I actually do have today and tomorrow's food, but I'm always overlapping, setting myself up for success so I have nothing to think about. Literally every meal, and you guys know this, all the way down to the last meal of the day. And now this is for those of you that literally work a 9 to 5. Maybe don't work from 3 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock at night and then pass out at 9 like I do. And don't have a lot of time to like sit and prepare. Whether you work from home, whether you're stopping at home, which I do. Sometimes I'm not out all day. I used to. Now I come home in the middle of the day. I do pick up my son. I pick up the other baby. And then I'm coming home, so I technically don't need to have my phone, my food with me all the time, but I always make it a point. I technically don't have to have everything prepared, but I do. So for those of you that literally are supposed to be home by 5 o'clock, you should be preparing enough food to get you all the way until 8 o'clock at night. Whether you put your food in the microwave at work right before you're about to leave, whether you literally walk in the door and then throw it in the microwave and put it on a plate and sit down and eat with the family. And then sometimes, and people ask me this all the time, well, you know, does your husband and your son and the baby's obviously on formula, but do they eat the same? My husband doesn't really eat the same as I do. My son does. He'll ask me for chicken in a bag, and he eats very, very, very healthy. He's like always asking for carrots and healthy foods. I make him ground turkey. I make him eggs. I make him healthy pancakes, all that other stuff. So, yes. It will then make it a lot easier. Whether you're on this journey and you do have family members that aren't at all on it like you, or you're trying to get your kids to eat healthy, which it's not about forcing, it's about letting them wanting to do it. Like my son wants to do it because he sees me doing it all the time. So people have asked me that all the time about my son. We're getting off a little bit on a tangent, but I'm going to get to the whole boundary thing. So it's all about literally, there are certain things in life that you cannot control, but then there are a lot of things that you can, that people use as an excuse. Oh, I couldn't do this because of this. You probably, if you would have set up your week in advance, almost every single phone, Android, Samsung, iPhones, they all have calendars. I'm a huge believer in Post-its. I have the world's worst memory, but I don't forget-ish because I save reminders and I pre-plan everything. And even if it's literally like bringing my food, I have a reminder in my phone that says pack food in car that goes off every day at 7, which is really like 6:45, and I leave my house at 7:05. So literally it's like a done deal, but what if the baby starts crying and I have to change him right when I usually put the food in the car? So it's all about planning and getting yourself set for success. That will help with the feeling of being overwhelmed. And then when curveballs are thrown at you, it's like, okay, it's one curveball, but all the other ish is all good. That's my way of saying a curse word without saying it, because I never curse on camera. That being said, I think I almost did once. That being said, this is about boundaries. So, life is about boundaries when it comes to everything. When it comes to a career, when it comes to starting a new business, when it comes to relationships. It's about boundaries and not going past those lines and not crossing those boundaries. Let's just say if you are a business owner, and I'm going to use myself as an example. This came up with another client, but I'm not going to use this person as an example because I don't want anybody else that knows her to know that she talked to me about this, and then they're going to know, whatever. So I'm going to talk about me. So I give my boundaries when it comes to food logs. 7 days a week, I critique food logs between 3 and 5 o'clock in the morning. My boundary is, if your food log is late, if it comes in my inbox at 5:05, I am sorry. I don't care what day of the week that it is. I don't care if it's my Tuesday, which is my technically off from resistance training day, but I still get up at 3, I still get on the treadmill, and then I still go to work in the morning. I just don't train at night, and then that's my chill day. I watch my DVR, So You Think You Could Dance, and when that's over, I don't know what I'll do. I read, I watch YouTube videos, I study stuff, all that. Whatever I can possibly do to grow as a person and chill and relax. That being said, that is my chill day. If somebody was to send me a food log on that day at 5:05, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I went to bed last night and I forgot to send it. First of all, poor excuse. Second of all, it doesn't matter because Tuesday, even though I have the time, that's my time. My scheduled time that I have for that is at 3 to 5 o'clock. You know the rules. You're supposed to be sending it every night before you go to bed. There are reasons for that psychologically. You got to check out of Monday on Monday night. I don't want you rehashing Tuesday on Tuesday morning. And you could set reminders on your phone. This way, when I do critique your food log, no matter what day it is, whether it was a good or a bad day, I am going to give you positive feedback. PCP. Praise, correct, praise. That's how I deal with everything in life, and that's how you guys should. I literally was talking to somebody else about how you deal with, let's just say, if you're not very good with confrontation. Now I'm really getting off on a tangent. If you're not very good with confrontation, this is the best way to confront somebody about an issue. Hey babe, I love you, but can you do me a favor and do this? But you know I love you. So that is how I do my food logs. And if your food log is late, then I don't get that opportunity to do that. But it also, and the main reason for me, and this does not mean that if you don't have Crohn's disease, if you don't have colitis, if you don't have a stomach condition, that you shouldn't create boundaries either. But my thing is, I have to keep my health under control. And when things are gone beyond, if I feel like, oh my God, it's my day to chill, or what if it isn't Tuesday? What if it's my craziest day? What if I have a 3-hour coaching call in the middle of the day? Then I gotta pick up my son. Then I gotta take him to math tutor. Then I gotta pick him up, drop him off at home to my husband, and then go to the studio. And then I have to set this up. And in the morning, I'm planning the workouts and all that. And I'll give you another example. On Monday, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I sit for an hour and a half at the studio and I plan the next 2 days worth of workouts. Who's coming in, who's doing what. My clients know boundaries. So if somebody was to say to me on Monday at 10 o'clock in the morning, oops, I can't come in on Wednesday, can I come in on Tuesday? Nope. Sorry, but I'm giving you 2 days notice. No, you're not actually. Because Wednesday you're telling me you can't come, but you're asking to come on Tuesday and I already planned the workout. So I'm not going to stress myself out to go and take time outside of the hour and a half that I have scheduled to plan the workouts to go and add you onto the schedule when you knew the rules. You're supposed to let me know in the beginning of the week, at least 3 days in advance, and that's what I tell people. Just ate breakfast. So, sorry. So I'm giving my examples only to explain to you guys about boundaries. And if I feel stressed out, I literally get stomach aches. That's my body's way of telling me you need to chill. Throughout these past, and I've had Crohn's disease since I was 21. I've really had it since I was 19, but they blamed it on stress. They didn't diagnose me until I was 21. And now I'm 38, so I've had it for all this amount of time. I was on medication for 2 years, and then that's when I got inspired, and you guys know my whole story. Most of you do. If not, you can go to Jenn.m.aguirre if you're new to my channel. www.jenn.aguirre.com and go read Who's Jen, and then you will kind of see my whole story. There's a lot more after that because I wrote that story 5 years ago, but whatever. So with me, it's like the second I feel stress, and I've been in the hospital in these years that I've gotten myself in remission, which was from the age of 23 on, which is now going on 15 years or a little bit more than 15 years, but I've had attacks. Some of them food related from restaurants or whatnot, but other ones were whether it's good stress when we were moving our studio or not. So I try to eliminate as much stress as possible for my condition, but you guys all have a condition too, and that's life stresses. You have to create those boundaries. If you say you're not gonna work on a Sunday, don't work on a Sunday. If I say I'm not gonna have my phone on when I'm with my son playing a game, that bad boy is gonna go on vibrate, it's gonna go in the bathroom, go on the charger, and I'm not touching it. Because my boundary is I have to create those memories with my son. The last thing I want is for my son to be talking to somebody and saying, Mommy's always on the phone. Just because I own my own business and I got clients that text me all the time, which I encourage. I would rather you text me than try to come up with the answer on your own, and then maybe it's the wrong answer and then you do something bad when you could have just asked me. So I always encourage clients to communicate with me, but I'll get to you within a couple hours. Just maybe that's my 3-hour span that I'm with my son on a certain night, even on Sundays. But it's those boundaries that you have to create and you have to follow. Relationships with parents, friends, whatever. You have your boundaries that you have to create, and it will improve the quality of your life and improve the quality of other relationships. And what most people do not realize is when you do not create boundaries and then you go and you do something that you really probably shouldn't have done because maybe in your mind you said, oh, that's my day with my husband or my wife, or that's my couple hours or few hours that I'm going to be not on my phone and whatever, and I'm going to be doing this with my family or my kids or whatnot. And then you go and you answer something, or you go and you step over your own boundaries. And then either somebody gets upset, somebody gets mad, maybe you do something for somebody beyond what you should have because in your mind this was your boundary, and then now that person didn't appreciate it or took it for granted, and now you're mad at them, but meanwhile you should be mad at yourself. So when you create these boundaries, they are protection for you. They are also protection for your relationship because you have no right to get mad at them. It's your fault. You know, like if somebody took you for granted, first time shame on them, second time shame on you if you continue to do that. And I've done videos on that before. And that comes from experience. It comes from, experience in the past. A family member, you loan them money. They don't pay you back. You loan them money again. No, you probably shouldn't loan them money the second time when they didn't give you the money back the first time. So shame on you, not shame on them for not paying you back a second time. So, I hope this video helped. I cannot believe that that this one's not screaming and this one's not awake. I hope that this helped in some way, shape, or form. I hope that you start to get a Post-it, get a journal, write stuff down, create those boundaries, and then keep them to improve the quality of your life and your relationships, and still be good at what you do no matter what it is. Your job, being a wife, being a mother, being a husband, being a father, being an employee, being a business owner. Everything has to be done the way it's supposed to be done and within that guideline. So if you think about, this is what I want my life to be like in 5 years, in 10 years, in 6 months, in 1 year, and this is ultimately what I want to be able to create a life like this, then start doing the things that you need to do to get there. Yes, working hard, but still, you need to start those boundaries now. You can't not have them while you're trying to get there and then try to enforce them when you get there, because you can't do that. Okay, So I'm gonna go take a shower. This Glisten is my Sweet Sweat that I put on before my workout. I had an awesome leg workout today. Trying to get swole. You guys know from my last video how I'm on dem gains. Super motivated. I was gonna say something else about something else. I was gonna kind of warn what the next video is. But I think that's pretty much it. Thank you to everybody that is encouraging this, that has made comments about it. I say this in a non-cocky way. When I set my mind to something, I'm gonna do it. Nothing is gonna stop me. Every one of you are so much stronger than you think. And you wanna know what? This is perfect. I'm gonna acknowledge one of my clients today. In her food log last night, her and her dude went out on a run, and he is a runner, and that's what he does, and he runs 5, 7, 9, 10, whatever. I don't know if he's a marathon runner, but correct me if I'm wrong to my client, and I won't necessarily say her name. But this is perfect. This is what I've been teaching my clients, and I try to teach all of you guys. So she goes on this run with him, and they had run 6 miles the week before, and then he says, okay, we're gonna run 7 miles today, and then maybe next week we're gonna try to run a little bit longer. So then at the end of the run, she's like, oh my God, I feel like I'm gonna die. I can't believe I just ran 7 miles. And he's like, oh, he says to her, I think, that they're gonna run 9 miles next time. And she's like, there's no way I can run 9 miles. And then he's like, you just did. And she says, oh my God, I cannot believe that. Like, this whole game is mental. And that literally is what she said in her little note section in her food log to me. And this is what I tell people all the time. This whole game is mental. I trust the journey. I trust the person, Ambrose, that I'm working with. I trust my inspiration, Tina. I trust that the process is doable. I trust myself, and I know I'm gonna bust my dollar to get that pro card and to get back on stage. And I do want to say something to everybody. I know I've talked in the past about how I'm never going to get on stage again, and I only did it to show women, but that is my inspiration right now. It's what I need to keep moving forward and to be good at what I do, to be a health coach, to inspire people, and it's not about inspiring people to get on stage. Me getting on stage does not mean that I want any of the 50 plus clients that I have to get on stage. I got one that's doing it right now. I got possibly another one. But that's not who I want to touch. I want to touch, and once I do get on stage, I'm so not contest prepping anybody. Never, ever, ever will that ever happen. Will I ever? Because my journey is to help people that are emotionally connected to food, to help people believe in themselves, and to give people hope for a better life. And I've said this before. It just so happens that this is my next step. This is something that I want to do. This is something, and you know what? I'll acknowledge Wendy Fortina. She got injured back in the day when she was young, and she used to run track and compete in track. I believe that's the story. Wendy, correct me if I'm wrong. But when she got injured, she couldn't compete in track anymore. And this was the thing that got her motivated. So now she does shows. She's a pro. And she was just at the Olympia last night. I physically watched her on stage when I watched the live webcam on flexonline.com. And that's what motivates her. And I don't know how long I'm going to do this. And I might keep doing it. And I might love it, love the motivation. It keeps me in sick shape. I'm 38 right now. I want to be in sick shape till I'm 60. I want to still be able to get on stage if I wanted to. I don't know if I ever told you guys, my inspiration to starting to work out was a woman that was 72 years old or 70 something years old that I met when I was 15 years old in Long Beach, in New York. I was on the boardwalk, and I remember I was blown away by her body, and I asked her how old she was, which is like a no-no, but who knew at the age of 15? And she told me how old she was, and she was ripped. And she reminded me of Roxanne, if any of you know who that is, I think from The Police. And I'm like, oh my God, I want to start hitting the weights. And then I asked one of my best friends, Jeremy, to work out with me because he was very into working out. And I started when I was 16 years old. And I'll never forget that woman. And that issue is going to be me. So again, that's why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I want to be that girl that has however many percent body fat, that has the legs that I've always wanted for sheer aesthetics, for sheer, there's a picture of Tina on her Instagram that she looks like Jessica Rabbit, and I'm telling you right now, it's bananas. And she's wearing like a fitted dress all the way down to here, and like she's turned to the side, and I'm like, that is my inspiration. I want to wear that. But I can't because I've never had really a small waist, but whatever. So I want to be that woman that owns her own business, does 3-hour coaching calls once a week, has 2 kids, 1 adopted kid, 1 biological kid. I did say in my video with the baby that I would never call him that again. So he is my son, officially probably in the next 3 months. And that's who I want to be. I want to be that person that makes it work and can succeed. And then also, and I will say this 100%, the most important thing to me is my relationship with my kids and my relationship with my husband. And I know I can do it. My motivation is to be able to have a successful family life, but still be able to walk on stage and do damage. That is what I want to do. And that is my inspiration. And if I can do it, you don't have to do that, but you can do anything. That's what I'm trying to say. So I hope you guys like this. I actually don't even know if my camera's still on. I really hope that it is. Hopefully I didn't run out of space. So I love you guys. Mwah.